So just to finish up, the other video timed out there, just to finish up what was being covered there. To recap, you've got all the materials that you'll need listed here in the assessments under group investigation. I was just about to go through a few examples that I have of previous group investigations that have been graded moderately well to quite well. Now, I am not going to give you copies of these examples. The reason being that I don't want you either consciously or subconsciously replicate too closely any of the forms of language that are there. I want everything to pass Turnitin with flying colours because it will be going through Turnitin. Alright, so this is an example of one of the types of group investigation. I'm just going to double back quickly and talk you through the assessment criteria very briefly. As you can see, this example is a pretty good one. I like to pitch examples in the B range, and this is very solidly in the B range. If you're looking in the A or B range, you can see that the standard here is very much dependent on how intelligently and creatively and clearly you're able to interpret the data that has been generated. Just to recap something that I said earlier, the data itself is not good. No self-respecting psychologist would use this data or publish this data in support of any research that they're doing. But the way that you interpret the data can demonstrate your familiarity with both psychological concepts and with the methods for interpreting pieces of evidence. You can write an essay or write a report on just about any topic, no matter how flimsy the pretext. If you're using evidence well, the evidence itself might be bad, but if you are using that evidence to the best of your ability, then you'll do okay. And in fact, more often than not, if you're writing well, then you'll do better than okay. Let's look just briefly at some of the language that's being used here in these assessment criteria. I'm going to talk through the A standard because I always like to aim high, but we'll be rolling through a B graded example in a second and a couple of others. So you can see here that the standards in bold are the ones that we're going to be working off of. The first one applies to the group portion of your group investigation, and most of the others mostly apply to the individual portion, and that's reflected in the fact that the proposal is only 250 words, but the individual portion is 1,500 words. So it's asking you to develop logical, coherent, and detailed psychology investigation proposals, which means that you're being specific in what you're proposing to investigate, within reason, of course, as specific as you can get in 250 words. It also wants you to clearly understand and consistently use well-organized ethical research practices. And if you refer back to this document here, Group Investigation Instructions, that's the reason I've set aside in my suggested structure, that's the reason I've set aside a whole section for ethics. It wants you to obtain, record, and display findings of investigations using appropriate conventions and formats accurately and highly effectively. This is a big one for data representation. This basically means how clearly, how intelligently, how well are you graphing, tabling, not just individual data sets, but coming up with, and I don't want to give too much away here because again, this is not my investigation, but not just individual data sets, but comparative data sets. The more interesting your comparisons are, in other words, the more unlikely the pairings of data sets can be, the more interesting potentially your discussion of those data comparisons can become. And I won't give anything more than that away, but get creative in the way that you're evaluating your data. You should be logically evaluating procedures and suggesting a range of appropriate improvements. That's what I've incorporated partly into my suggested conclusion. You should be systematically analysing and evaluating psychological evidence to formulate highly relevant and logical conclusions. That's the discussion portion of your final individual report. You should be demonstrating initiative in applying constructive and focused approaches to individual and collaborative work. I will be grading you in part on how well you have contributed to the group portion of this assignment. This is why I'm taking great pains to put this video out there, because some of you haven't really had much of a go at contributing to your group so far. This is your chance to rectify that. And lastly, uses a variety of formats to communicate knowledge and understanding of psychology in different contexts coherently and highly effectively. You've seen this one before in probably just about each and every one of your assignments. That just means, are you structuring your work in a way that makes sense in the context of the work? So previously, when you've done essays, is it structured like an essay should be structured? When you've done informative campaigns, is it structured like an information campaign should be? For this one, it's essentially a prac report for all intents and purposes. Is it structured like a prac report? Nothing surprising there. All right, and you can have a read through all of the standards yourself. No one should be shopping around this area. This is not where any of you should be. We're all up C and higher. That's the way I like it. All right, so here's an example of a proposal. And again, this is a proposal that's at a B level because it develops a well-considered and clear psychological investigation proposal with a clear hypothesis. Right. I'll give you a second to read through that. So it's pretty basic stuff. It's good, straightforward language, lots of strong verbs there. We hypothesize that a visual stimulus will result in blah, 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 blah. Remember, this isn't the same type of data that you're working with, so none of the specifics of this will be familiar to you, and I've done that deliberately so that you're not tempted to appropriate anyone else's work. All right, so this is a relatively short proposal. It's 150 words. My advice would be that if you've got 5 or 6 people in your group, you've got 5 or 6 brains, which should be enough to come up with a little bit more than that. Now, so that's the group portion of the report. Between writing this and writing this, which is the introduction to the individual portion of the report, somewhere in there, you're going to have looked at, analyzed, compiled, tablified, graphified your data in a variety of different ways. And if you're smart, if your group is working well, you'll work out a way of dividing up that work so that one person can create a table or a graph that compares these 2 data sets, another person can compare another 2 data sets, a third person can compare parts of the data sets that the first 2 people have compared, and so on and so forth. Once you've got your proposal, and once you've compiled all the data in the way that you want it, and I'll give you a hot tip, I don't want to see the raw data in your reports. I'm not interested in it. I created the raw data. I know what it looks like. Don't show it to me again. Once you've done that, you're going to move on and you're going to do your report. And the individual portion of the report is going to be 1,500 words. 1,500 plus 250. That's right. That's 1,750 words for those playing at home. You're going to have actually, no, I'm not going to be that prescriptive either. This person has chosen to do an introduction where they've restated their hypothesis, where they've given a brief overview about what the purpose of the group investigation was, and they've given us a brief outline, a very brief outline of the methodology. They've then gone on and compiled a bunch of results, which is taking the form of a table here, a graph, another couple of graphs, and so on and so forth. Now, one thing you'll notice about these results is that, as the comments state here, the findings have been displayed and recorded properly, but there are labels missing from some of the graphs. All right, so remember that the display of your data is never complete until there are labels there. After their results, and none of this should come as any surprise to you, it's more or less exactly the same format as every science prac report you've ever done in school ever in the history of humanity. After the results have been displayed, you discuss the results. All right. This person has chosen to include some fairly dodgy looking graphs in here and about half a dozen of them which don't particularly excite me. I would recommend putting a bit of light color and comparison in there. And as I said to a couple of you last week, if you end up with 20 graphs and each and every one of them gets used in your discussion, then put 20 graphs in. If you only use 3 graphs, then just use 3 graphs. But as long as you're using them well, that's what I'm looking for. The discussion talks your reader through the outcome of the data. How do you interpret the data? And your discussion, and this is a pretty good example here, your discussion should make up the bulk of the word count. Now, note that this person hasn't included anything after the discussion. My recommendation to you would be to have a separate, at least 1 or 2 other separate sections. Firstly, where you break down the ethical considerations, and also where you break down any suggested changes to the experimental design. So 2 questions to answer there. Was the data gathered scientifically? Were the participants treated ethically? And you can spend a good couple of 100 words, I would say, discussing various components of those 2 questions, because there's a fair bit to talk about there. That's a B standard. Now, if we look at this one here, this is an example of an A-, I think, if we go through to the results. Yep, so you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 in the A band, 1, 2, 3 in the B band, which makes it an A- overall. And the difference between the previous one and this one, for example, it's got an appendix. They've chosen to put some of their data in an appendix, which says that their level of organization is a little bit more comprehensive. They have provided appropriate captions for their tables and graphs. And also, when we come back to the proposal here, you'll note that, where are we? The proposal also is, I would say, a bit better than the previous one, because they're actually breaking it down into research question, hypothesis, and how they're going to use the data. And lastly, I've only got a couple of minutes of recording time left. Lastly, it's done it again. How's it going?